Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Friday Charge, brought to you by Geek Studios. As always, we are your hosts, Joel and Sebastian. And today, May 22nd, 2026, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Subaru. We're going to talk about Volvo a couple of times. We're going to talk about some chicken. And we'll just see what else comes up. So without further ado, let's plug in and get started. All right, our first topic of the story, or of the day, whatever you want to call this. It's later than usual when we're recording this, just by the way,
we're
so
running.
I'm tired.
I had an event tonight, and it's past my bedtime. But we're gonna press on and talk about chicken. So
Eventually. But first,
yes,
Subaru has postponed their in-house EV plans. Subaru this week announced that it would be postponing their plans to launch their own in-house developed EVs. Initially planned for launch in 2028, Subaru has now shifted the plan for the new EV factory in Japan over to the production of ICE and hybrid vehicles. This comes after Subaru lost 90% in operating profits, with tariffs alone costing the company $1.4 billion US, and EV write-downs cost them around $385 million. Subaru's CEO pointed to US market conditions as a reason for this shift. Subaru has stated that they wish to complete a full market reevaluation before committing to any new launch dates. Subaru's 4 co-developed Toyota EVs are unharmed by this shift and will be moving along as scheduled. As much as I don't like this news, it's not surprising for me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that over 75% of Subaru's global sale volume comes from the United States?
That I didn't expect. No, I would have thought of it more overseas.
That means, by and large, Subaru has to make all of its company decisions based on us.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if the U.S. market is currently in whatever this mess is, and therefore EV growth isn't moving as fast as hoped or expected, or just being attacked in general, we'll talk about that more later, Subaru can't really probably afford to dump tons of money on it or shift to a primarily EV-focused brand or whatever else before their actual customer base is ready, because they've got 70% of their global sales on the line, or 75% of their global sales on the line. All that said, though, I also do firmly believe that if Subaru had started rolling this ball a little bit earlier, especially maybe before the last 2 years, they might have been in a pretty good position to gain some EV customer base. But also, this is kind of what happens when, instead of doing that, you partner with one of the most fiscally conservative automakers in the world.
The cheapest, the tightest pockets in the world, yes.
The tightest pockets in the world that don't play no games, don't take no chances,
Not risky,
so.
Nope. So question for you, the 90%, that's not EV, that's overall sales for the entire company, correct?
That is just overall profits, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
The biggest hit was tariffs for them. It was like $1.4 billion.
Yeah, so before you put in the comments like EVs are killing companies, this has nothing to do particularly with EVs because they don't make their own EVs. So this is just as an entire company, 90% profits.
And it makes sense that they would have such a big hit on tariffs, considering, I guess, basically all of their market is in the U.S.
And they don't have many plants here, do they? Or any?
Mm-mm.
No?
They have. Good question.
You talk. I'll look it up.
Okay. But yeah, it's just, I didn't realize the percentage was that high. I knew they weren't that big overseas. Like, I think they have a pretty decent market in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of Japan, it's, a lot less. And then U.S. is the U.S. It looks like you got your answer. What's your answer?
So the answer is there's an Indiana facility in Lafayette, Indiana. The Indiana facility builds several Subaru's most popular brands and trims: the Outback, the Ascent, the Legacy, the Forester, the Crosstrek.
So all of the SUVs,
all of them. But I'm sure the parts,
right,
maybe coming from overseas. I don't know. So yeah, it's a production.
I knew
facility,
that. I
so
just forgot.
So,
yeah.
Yep. So
all right, moving
operation,
on.
Stamping, welding, painting, and final assembly.
Okay, cool.
So I'm assuming the parts are coming in. So yes.
Moving on. I'm done talking about Subaru.
All right.
Volvo has announced pricing for the new EX60. Volvo announced their pricing and opened the orders for the new luxury SUV, the EX60. The base model EX60, which is the P6 trim level, will start at $58,400. In base form, you get an 83 kilowatt hour battery pack, 307 miles of range, 320 kilowatt peak charging, with Volvo claiming 10 to 80 in 16 minutes. And then the next step up will be the P10 variant, starting at $60,750. The P10 comes standard with all-wheel drive, has a 95 kilowatt-hour battery pack, 322 miles of range, 370 kilowatt DC fast charging, and the same 16-minute 10 to 80 time. The one variant we don't have pricing on yet is the P12, which features a 117 kilowatt-hour battery pack, 400 miles of range, and the same 370 kilowatt peak fast charging speed. And I think they're doing 10 to 80 in 19 minutes instead of the 16 minutes,
there
because it's got an extra, it's got an extra 20 some odd kilowatt hours to put in. Of course, as expected with those kind of charge speeds, the EX60 is based on an 800 volt platform and will be Volvo's first vehicle to ship NACS native in the US market at launch. Each trim level is available with a Plus and Ultra package. The Plus pack comes with Volvo's Pilot Assist, a 21-speaker Bose audio system, and Volvo's full suite of safety goodies. Stepping up to the Ultra trim will add ventilated leather seats, 28-speaker Bowers & Wilkins audio system, electrochromic roof, heated rear seats with an integrated booster if needed. Volvo is expecting these will be available for test drive later this summer, and deliveries coming shortly after that. So I really like the way this thing looks.
Dude, I'm looking at it right now on the screen. I love it. Yes, I love it.
I haven't had time. There has been a press embargo released on them, and there have been some reviews and first impressions actually given on them. I haven't had a time to check any of those out yet. I'm so sorry. But just kind of from the initial at the launch, I know Kyle from Out of Spec had a video in Sweden or wherever the launch event was with it doing a tour of the vehicle, and it looked phenomenal. It looked like Volvo knocked it out of the park, and seeing that it's going to start at under 60 grand for a luxury EV is pretty solid, in my opinion.
Yeah, just looking at this video. So if you're curious, this is a video from Motor Trend that we're watching a little tour here. It looks really sharp. It looks like just someone took the X30 and just stretched it out. So, but it really is. I could just sit here and watch this all night, Sebastian, but I can't. But yeah, it looks really good. I believe our dealership said August, September is when they were getting them in. I think when I asked them last time we were there, they said August, September. So yeah, this is really, love it. This is cool news. Love 3-row. We need more 3-row EV SUVs on the market, and Volvo makes safe cars.
Is this a
3-row? I'm sorry, 2-row. Sorry. It's late. It's 2-row. The EX90 is 3-row. But hopefully they figured out all the software glitches, because I know that's kind of plagued the EX30 when it came out. But some of the software issues.
As far as I know, they've improved it quite a bit since launch through over-the-air updates. So it's safe. I would hope it's safe to assume that if they can improve the one car, then the other car will ship with those improvements already baked in. But as we all know, we don't know that.
We don't know.
You can't be certain.
Yeah. Some cars come with no route planning. So,
Speaking of, okay, this isn't in the stock, but let's go on a little tangent.
Ooh, we're going off the script here.
So Lexus had a press event for the new ES, and they just announced that the ES would be launching with route planning and all that. Great. It needs to.
Yeah. Yes.
It's 2026. Having a ground up EV that doesn't have route planning at launch is insane. And the fact that the Solterra, BZ, Uncharted, CHR, RZ, blah, 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 don't have it is insane. So the ES will be launching with route planning. Cool. At this press event that they just held, where they announced that it was launching with route planning, none of the press cars had route planning.
Is route planning that difficult? I don't know. Like I've said before, we can send people around the moon. Elon wants to send people to Mars, but yet we can't figure out route planning in a car?
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
what's the dealio? I don't understand.
Not a huge topic and not whatever, but it's just like, come on. If you're going to do a press event, what should be the cream of the crop, best cars you have options are available, right? Because you want to make sure you're putting the best foot forward, showing up the best you have. how are you not going to go ahead and have fully featured? If the car is going to have route planning, your press vehicle should have route planning on it then.
Yep.
Because coming and being like, oh, it's coming soon. Soon doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You can't buy a product based on the promise of the future.
We were told the Roadster 5 years ago was coming soon.
You have to buy a product based on what is in your hand now, because buying based on a promise of the future just means you're asking to get your heart broken when that doesn't come true, because your hardware 3 car needs better cameras in order to actually do FSD, or your hardware 2 car doesn't have enough compute power, or your hardware 1 car, or your we've just been proven time and time and time again, you have to buy things based on the capabilities now.
It's like having that girlfriend saying she gonna change, but never does.
Thank you, Joel. I'm sure you know a lot about that.
I like that analogy. I've been married for almost 25 years, so yeah, I mean, I know a lot about it. Still waiting, babe. Still waiting.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Get you some chicken and some electrons. Southern chicken chain Bojangles has opened up its first EV charging hub in Savannah, Georgia. A spokesperson for the company has also stated that this won't be the only site, with a second site planned to open in Charlotte later this year, and they've stated that many more are coming in the future. So there's not a ton more information on this. This is in a partnership with a company called XLR8. I'm assuming that's supposed to be Accelerate America, who handled the site design and the installation of hardware. So I did want to look real quick. I should have done this earlier, but I've had a busy day. Okay, guys, please give me some grace.
What do you want to know? I got an article pulled up here.
Well, what do you think about this? I mean, does this make sense? Do you think EV charging and fast food go hand in hand together?
I mean, okay, I grew up in South Carolina. There were Bojangles around. You're not there long enough.
In theory.
I mean,
yes.
In theory, you're at a Bojangles for 4 or 5 minutes. I mean, it's a fast food chicken restaurant. It's like a Cane's or a Zaxby's, but yet they serve breakfast. You're going to be there at the longest, I mean, 15, 20 minutes, but I mean, I guess, I don't know. And
15, 20 minutes is long enough if you have an eGMP car.
Yeah. But there's not, from what I've gathered from growing up around Bojangles, is they're not like right off the interstate. They're mostly in towns. So I don't know how location-wise, how well this would work. But I mean, heck, man, more chargers are more chargers. I don't care where you put them. You want to put them I don't care where you put them. You want to put them in a hospital, put them in a hospital. I don't care. Yeah.
It's taking me all this time. I was just trying to figure out what the power of the chargers was.
Let me see if I can find it.
Now, I finally have the address, so I can go to PlugShare and see if they're on PlugShare.
It doesn't say anything in this article from Bojangles about the about these units.
Oh, it's 240 kilowatts. Would have liked a little bit better.
Yep. I mean, they look cool.
They do look cool.
Yeah. I mean,
I did see they have some ability to do some integration with them and whatnot as well, which is cool. Okay.
I will say this: that's an odd. When I think of a fast food restaurant getting superchargers, Bojangles is not the first one that pops to mind. I mean, we've seen Teslas at Burger Kings and things like that. There are some Burger Kings that have Teslas and things like that. But yeah, Bojangles is not the first one that comes to mind.
So Joel, what did you see when you first saw that picture of the Bojangles, or what did you say when you first saw a picture of the Bojangles chargers?
I forgot. They were yellow.
They were yellow, and you liked the way they looked.
Yes.
What do you notice about this?
They look
what do you notice about what's on the screen?
They're gray, the same one.
They're not yellow.
They're not yellow. Oh, Bojangles, you put AI out. Come on now.
Or this picture was taken before they wrapped them or whatever, but considering they already had the logo on them in this, and it looks like they were online in this picture, although it also says May 1st. I'm a little skeptical.
Ooh.
What if they're not actually yellow? I think that kills it.
So zoom out on that image. Where is this located at? I'm pretty familiar with Savannah, as we call it down south.
4401 Ogeechee Road.
See, it's kind of off the beaten path.
516 is over here. 16 is up yon.
Okay, I know. Okay, I know the interstate. Okay, then there you go. Scroll up and you should see the. Okay, then there's the Savannah River. Yeah, odd location.
Savannah. Thank you.
Savannah. Say it right.
Savannah.
I think we should talk more about charging, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
For those in the U.S. traveling in their EV for Memorial Day, you should keep an eye out for Ionna chargers along your route. Ionna has announced that all Memorial Day weekend long, they will be reducing their network pricing to 20 cents a kilowatt hour, which is around 28 cents less than their usual average rate. This promotion will run from 12 a.m. May 22nd, or today, until 11:59 p.m. on Monday, May 25th. So you got all weekend to enjoy this nice, good, cheap, usually reliable charging with 400 kilowatt stations and whatever. Unfortunately for me, I am going places this weekend. There's one Ionna station on the route, and it is too close to home to stop at. So
but you should just stop there for fun to help them out.
I will be paying Electrify America too much money and probably cry about it, but it's okay.
You can go to Pilot Flying J and pay even more money if you want to.
Or I could go to actually the only Pilot Flying J is basically once I'm there.
In Fayetteville?
It's in Springdale. So it's actually past where I'm going.
Oh, they haven't built the other one yet. Okay. You're right.
Yeah, there's nothing in Fayetteville.
Tesla
Fayetteville hates EV charging for some reason. No, it's not in Fayetteville.
No, it's not. They have them up. You're right. That's not in Fayetteville. It's up in Rogers or Bentonville.
In Rogers and Bentonville area. Yeah. For some reason, DC fast charging and Fayetteville don't get along.
Must be some sort of city ordinance or something like that.
Which is a shame because they need it bad.
I mean, because that's the thing. When we go to Fayetteville, we stay in Rogers and Benton because that's where the EV charging is. We never stay. We never stay in Fayetteville. We always.
For me, I stay in Fayetteville because that's where my family is, and I don't have to pay to stay with them. But then it gets a little hairy because there's no charging in Fayetteville, so I'm gonna end up driving to Bentonville at some point, which is not a big deal. I like going up to Bentonville, do stuff up there too.
It's only 10, 15 minutes away. Yep.
But it's still weird.
You think being a college town where people are visiting and coming to football games, you would have charging?
Yeah, you'd think.
So Razorbacks got the shirt on today.
All right, moving on. The Equinox EV is receiving some updates for 2027. So GM has announced a couple minor improvements for the upcoming model year. One that will be likely welcomed by most, especially those considering or our current owners and maybe considering upgrading once their lease expires. GM will finally be offering a premium sound option for the vehicle. Until now, there's only been one sound system available on the model, which was a 6-speaker setup that is middling at best because it's essentially your 4 regular door speakers and 2 tweeters, and that's it. Now you'll be able to get a Bose premium audio system, which is being bundled with the Active Safety Package 3. GM's got to work on those names. GM's always had bad package names, and they got to work on it still. Which Active Safety Package 3 also includes 3 years of OnStar 1, Super Cruise, and Automatic Parking Assist. This package bundled with the Bose is expected to cost nearly $4,000, which I guess when you consider all the other stuff in there, maybe isn't that bad, but also $4,000 for an option package on a Equinox seems hard to, I don't know. I don't like it. And also, I think on the current model year, that package is only available on the LT2 and RS trim. So you have to already buy this more expensive one anyway. This is not on the $35,000 Equinox, but anyway. Also for 2027, the Equinox will be moving to NACS. So this was now the, I think, 4th vehicle GM's announced moving to NACS. I imagine we're going to keep seeing this come for the 2027 model year. Now that GM's announced the Blazer, we'll keep rolling on, I'm sure. And of course, unfortunately, this is just a move to NACS. GM is not improving the charging speeds or anything else, so they haven't announced yet, which is a bit of a bummer. I like the Equinox. I like the Blazer a lot. The more I sit here and think about it, the more and more I'm less okay with, or I guess the less and less I'm okay with the 150 kilowatt peak DC fast charging in 30 some odd minute, 10 to 80. It's just, we did a whole episode on Monday. We can talk about that a little bit here. If we want, but we did a whole episode on Monday talking about just a fast charging analysis on the Ioniq 5, and the whole thing started because we tried to do a 10 to 80 charge on mine, and we got a weird result, but then it still finished 10 to 80 in less time than Hyundai said it would take.
Having a weird result.
With it being a bad session.
Yes.
And so then that led me in this whole rabbit hole, and I charged it again and got a perfect session and did it even faster and even less time, like almost 2 minutes less time than Hyundai said it would take. And this whole thing, and it's just ultimately kind of as a whole, how is a 4-year-old car still charging faster than almost every other vehicle on sale today?
Yep.
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand.
Nope.
And so it's like, as much as people are like, well, I don't care about DC fast charging that much because I only do it once or twice a year. It's like, don't you want the technology to advance though?
Yes.
Like, is it acceptable that these automakers are not advancing? Like, I don't think it is. Anyway, moving on. Let's get through this last story and then we can talk more about all the fun stuff that came out this week.
Then you can rant some more. Yes.
Yes. Volvo has announced that they plan to replace the EX30 in the U.S. market. So we don't have much information yet, but Volvo will be filling the void left by the EX30 in their lineup, quote, soon, end quote. We know what that means. Volvo has stated that it won't be at the same price point, which, remember, the EX30 was supposed to start at $35,000. But Volvo has stated that the new vehicle will be bigger and therefore offer more as a result. I'm kind of speculating, and I've seen others speculate this as well, that this will be the next generation EX40, which has been kicking around since late 2020. Back then, it was known as the XC40 Recharge. It recently became the EX40. I think it was a 2024 model year, and they did this to make it line up with EX30, EX90, EX60. All the electrics are now EX instead of saying blah, blah, blah Recharge. This car, the EX40 XC40 Recharge, is built in a shared platform with its combustion twin, the XC40. And so I would not be surprised to see the EX40 moving to the EV-focused SPA 3 platform, which is the platform that underpins the EX60. And Volvo has kind of previously announced that the SPA 3 platform is flexible enough that they can kind of build whatever the heck they want on it in a lot of different size categories. Which, I mean, I don't feel like you hint at something like that if you don't have plans to do exactly that. And I welcome it. I've always liked the way that XC40, EX40 look. It's just one of those, when, kind of launched, it kind of launched as it was. I don't know that it was actually a compliance EV, but it felt like a compliance EV. It wasn't a ground up car. It was a combustion conversion. So it has some weird quirks from the fact that it was a combustion conversion. It's got some stuff on it that's not EV native, things like that. But it's a good looking car. It has decent specs, especially decent specs for the time that it was launched. And so I'd be excited to see again, similar sized vehicle, but moving to SPA 3 and having 800 volt battery packs and ultra fast charging and all the safety stuff and etc. And very integrated software, whatever else.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add. We did a little mini charge episode on the audio podcast on this Wednesday, just talking about this updates. Basically had the same information. It's basically probably going to be the EX40 just on the new platform and not on the shared ICE platform. And I drove one of those cars and it wasn't bad. I mean, it was just like a bigger EX30 at the time, even though it was a couple years old. But yeah, I mean, this just makes sense. What I'm hoping is they can build these at the South Carolina plant, which would help them with cost. 'Cause that's what killed the EX30s, tariffs and bringing them in from Belgium. Just your $35,000 car was now a $45,000 car, and it was tiny. So that's what killed the EX30. So yep. So kudos to Volvo, like that, like all the new updates from them, and it's going to be an exciting next couple of years for them.
Yeah.
All right, Sebastian, go back to your Monday video, rant some more.
Yeah, so like I said, Monday was I probably won't rant too much. It's okay. I think I got most of it out already. Anyway, so yeah, Monday we did a little analysis on my car's charging curve and it led to a whole project. And now we have, which I can talk about here. I'll share the screen just in case you don't want to go watch Monday's video. I would like you to see the fruits of my labor.
If you haven't visited, go check out evgeekstudios.com. We do have a website. It's your one-stop shop for everything. You can find all of our videos on there. You can see some cool things that we're doing. Yep.
evgeekstudios.com. We've got a
beautiful photo. Make a website.
Beautiful photo of the Volvo EX30 cross country in the background. You got a little about us. We've got some testimonials from people that we've worked with before. This is my favorite review. that we've ever received. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you so
Which I don't know
much.
if that Mark's ever going to see this. I need you to know that Mark reminds Joel and I of Will Arnett so much.
Yes, he looks exactly like him.
It's very uncanny. Anyway,
We love you, Mark.
We got down here. He talks about our kind of shows we do, and you can click on these, and it will take you to a playlist on YouTube. And then we have this cool widget, which I got from Brandon Flash. He made this. That's just like an
Thank you,
infinite
Brandon.
scroll, loads in all the videos on the channel, and eventually we run out of videos, and then it will stop loading. Anyway, and you can see
You can put shorts on there. I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Wow.
And you can hover over it, and it gives you the title. You can click it, tells you how long they are. You can also just click right here, and it shows you how many people are subscribed to us and what our total views are. It gives us all sorts of stats. I really like that little widget.
I love it.
And if you come around here at the top, you have where you can watch and listen. So you have a link to YouTube, a link to the audio platform. You've got referrals, some like Amazon store stuff, products we like. We've got our About Us, which if you go to the About Us, you get these nice, beautiful headshots with a little bit of bio. We've got a contact form. We've got a form if you want to work with us, which we'd love to work with you, you can go there. You can read about what we can do. You can fill out a form, talk to us, whatever. But we're going to talk about this new tab that just showed up, EV testing with EV charging tests. And so when I click on this, you will see a whole bunch of stuff loads in. So we've got this little just about section, which tells you this site is best, or at least this page is best viewed on a desktop browser. That's just because there's a lot of data here and it's kind of hard to fit on a phone screen. And also just warning you that this is a work in progress and things are subject to change. So don't get used to how it looks because it might be different next time you come here.
Once we start reviewing, once we start doing a lot more chart tests, and I'll talk a little bit more about, it's something we haven't done a lot on our channel in 2 years. We haven't done a lot of chart tests, 1080, basically because we just haven't had time. We've been busy reviewing cars. But with the way things are going in America right now, and especially in Arkansas, it's getting harder for us to get cars. And, so we thought, what else can we do? So we thought, let's start doing some charging tests. We have a nice brand new Ionna station here that gives us 400 kilowatt power. So why not start doing that? So we've done a couple cars. We have a couple more planned, but now you can go on, Sebastian.
Yeah. But yeah, it just kind of shows us how we're going to get the data through OBD or just a vehicle display. We're going to do the best we can for optimal conditions at the highest power charger that the car can handle, which unless otherwise noted, we'll talk about that here. There's like filtering abilities, so you can hover over and we have a Google Sheet. So this whole thing led to me trying out multiple different graphing and data visualization softwares, and I ended up settling on Tableau, which seems to be kind of the gold standard almost for things like this. It's very powerful, very business focused, but they have a free version, and that's what I'm using because it's free.
And we're cheap.
And I'm cheap. I didn't want to actually pay a lot of money for this.
That's a whole nother podcast episode. It's a whole nother podcast episode.
I don't think we do that on this channel. We might have to start a psychology of Sebastian channel for that, and it'd get very horrifying very quick, but I'll move on. And so you can see right now we have approximately 4 vehicles showing off of here. So we have our Ioniq 5 best run, first run, which was that weird run I mentioned before. I have a run from my car on a Tesla supercharger, and I have a run from your car on a Tesla supercharger. Now you'll notice this initial data is not awesome. We have a lot of 10 to 80 sessions on here, multiple. We don't have many that go above 80. Moving on, I would like to see us charge past 80% and maybe charge below 10% just because I'd like to have a more full picture. But I went ahead and graphed kind of the data I had. Because while I know 10 to 80 is kind of the number everyone throws around, to me, it's still very interesting to see how cars top charge, what weird behavior might go on once you pass 80. For example, the Korean Siesta, which you can see on the graph here, around 80% on the Ioniq 5 charging sessions here. Again, these sessions stop before 80%, right at 80%, so you don't see it. But, why the heck does it do the Korean Siesta? If we stopped our charge sessions at 80%, we would never know it happened.
I know.
Anyway, and you can see when you hover over, I get tooltips. This is what really pushed me into Tableau, is needing to be able to kind of filter and do these tooltips here, where it'll actually tell you how long, like state of charge, what vehicle, how much time elapsed, and what amount of power was at that state of charge. And it's, as you scroll over, it'll give you that data. I can come in here if I only want to look at your EV9. I can filter out. Boom, there's the EV9. If I'm trying to just compare these two, for example, hit that, give it a second, boom, now I can compare those two runs. In the future, as we have multiple vehicles on here, hopefully, if you're wanting to compare the charge curve of an Equinox and an Ioniq 5, you'd be able to throw them on the same graph and then really kind of dig into it.
Yep.
Anyway,
And this
I'm
works out
excited
too if you're thinking about buying a car,
Yeah.
an EV, and you're like, man, what's that 1080? Come here. Hopefully, as we start doing this more this year, we'll have more cars on there, and you can kind of check out those. But yeah, pretty cool.
And then once you scroll to the bottom, you'll see I'll just kind of have an added glance view here, which shows I'll list the EPA rated range of the model we drove, what peak charge rate we saw, what the advertised battery side is from the manufacturer, what the 10 to 80 time is advertised from the manufacturer, and then what time we got in testing. Anyway, and then if you want, you can click down here at the bottom. You've got some tabs that will actually show you the individual vehicles and kind of give you the breakdown of state of charge, charge power, time elapsed, etc. And then we've got this last sheet, which I need to go in and probably just hide. This is just the big aggregated sheet that is
That's a
used
lot
to
of
make the
numbers.
graph. There's a lot of numbers, and there's going to be even more as we do more of these cars.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's kind of the state of that page. And in the future, maybe we can start doing range tests, things like that. And then we can also start graphing those and showing the data in a way that's meaningful and presentable, and find ways to tie that data to charge tests to add how many miles of range do you add per minute of charging, or things like that. Who knows? I have a lot of ideas. I just have to get better at math to do them.
Math is hard.
Or get better
Numbers
at telling the computer how to do the math.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, Joel, talk about what you did Wednesday.
Oh, yes. Wednesday's video is we don't dive into politics much on this channel. We try to stay out of it. But a report came out that a bipartisan bill, which is odd, bipartisan bill, so it was sponsored by transportation, what do they call it? The transportation. I can't talk Sebastian. It's late at night. The transportation.
I can't think of it either.
So the head of the transportation, not the head of transportation, but the transportation committee. There we go. The House Transportation Committee. That's what I'm thinking. So the person who is the chair and the person who is the Republican Democrat came out with a bipartisan bill to add a $130 EV fee for EV owners every year. This is a federal fee to increase to $150 by, I believe, 2035. So I think it would take, implement in 2028, and then slowly over the next couple of years, $25 each year. So because people say, why are we doing this? Well, because we don't pay gas taxes. We don't pay the 18.3 cents a gallon when we fill up our gas, which is a legitimate point. We don't. Mm-hmm. But the issue is a flat tax fare. That was the whole issue of the video. Because for someone like Sebastian, who drives 25,000 miles a year, 22,000 miles a year, that may be more than 130, as compared to my wife, who drives 8. So that's the whole thing. But then we talked about in the video, the vehicle mileage tax or the road usage charge, which is fine, which I think that's the way to go. But the issue is, how do you implement that? How do you implement hundreds of thousands of EV drivers putting in their data on their odometer of how much they drive and things like that? I mean, yes, the world is AI run now, but tracking all that, figuring out the fraud, who's skipping out on it, it would just make a mess. Yes, I know this with the way things are going now, this probably won't go anywhere because it's not part of the reconciliation package. So that means we need 60 votes in the Senate to clear. Whether or not there would be enough Democrats that would come over. It's funny because the people who are sponsoring this bill on the Democrat side are from Washington and Oregon. So that's odd. So, and they already have, and people don't understand that. They're like, oh, they need to pay their fair share. On top of that $130, a lot of states pay EV tax fees and registration fees. So here in Arkansas, it's about what, $235, $250 with it's the fee and then a registration fee.
The EV fee is $200, and then the registration is $35.
Yeah, so we pay $235. So we have 2 cars in my house, and Sebastian has 2 cars that are EV. So we're paying almost $500 a year in those. Plus, we add another $260. We're up to almost $1,000 a year in fees for our EVs. So I mean, I don't know. Go on.
It's just, whatever. We pay $130 federal EV or tax or EV tax, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Paying almost $500 a year in these fees that are supposed to be for road maintenance and road use and all that, just for the roads to still suck.
Yeah.
Is
and to let you know, they haven't. So taxes have gone up everywhere except the fuel tax, which has not been increased, I think, since 1993. So when people think 1993 wasn't long ago, yeah, it was. It was 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. So I mean, we haven't increased it. So,
and also
I don't know.
People, needing people to also realize, which, if you're watching this, you're probably already in the EV world or whatever, or fairly familiar. So you might already be aware of this. We might not pay gas tax. We still pay tax. You pay tax on the electricity you use at home. You pay a tax on electricity when you buy it out in public. You pay tax on the consumables. You pay, you still pay your share of tax. I saw one conversation coming around is like, it feels like they could do this if they weren't going to be able to do mileage tax, mileage tracking or whatever. What about adding a tax to tires?
Yeah.
The more you drive, the more you're going to burn through tires.
Yep.
The more often you're going to buy tires. The more often you're going to pay a road tax, for the tire purchase. It seems like that might be of course, there's always going to be people that maybe aren't doing their share, people that drive on their tires till they're bald, people who buy tires more frequently, whatever. But it kind of at that point just becomes part of it, right?
Yep. And people say like, well, EVs are heavier. Well, doing this research on this video, an EV9 weighs the same amount as a Chevy Suburban, and they're both 3-row EVs. So, I mean, F-150 Lightning weighs about the same as a regular F-150. The issue with weight on the roads is your 18-wheelers. That's where the weight issue comes in. I mean, a Bolt, I think, weighs maybe a couple hundred more pounds than a Toyota Camry. So it's not a weight issue for these EVs anymore. So, yeah, I mean, watch the video. If you like politics, watch the video. I mean, we've got a lot of views on it. We've gotten a lot of comments on it. It's been fun to read. So, yeah, if you just want to get some good reading, watch the video, read the comments. So, yeah, but those are our 2 videos for this week.
I just realized I've been sharing my screen the whole time. My bad.
Yeah, that's fine.
My bad. Anyway, and as for next week, who knows? I have not got anything planned currently. Something will come out, of course, but I've got to get all that settled.
We have, I did some videos. So we did have last weekend, I forgot to tell you, we did have our annual Teslas and Tacos event at Evolve. Huge showing. I mean, I never seen that many people at Teslas and Tacos before, which is great. Huge shout out to the crew at Evolve Auto. But while we were there, I just casually interviewed EV owners and just talked to them about why they bought an EV, what they like about an EV. These are just regular people who own EVs. Honda Prologues and Blazers and Teslas and old Teslas and Cybertrucks and Porsches, and we did email our buddy Doug and he talked about his Porsche. So yeah, so if you're interested in just about, that video is probably coming out next week.
That's probably Monday, I would assume.
That's Monday videos. So if you just want just a quick 15-20 minute video about just what real EV owners have to say about their EVs, it's a really good, just relaxing video to watch and just to hear what people have to say about owning EVs.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is a wrap for today's episode. Thank you all for plugging into the Friday Charge. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, tap that follow button, leave us a quick rating, comment, whatever your platform uses. They're all a little different and I can't keep track of it anymore. But whatever you do, it really does help the show grow. So long, everyone, and we will see you on the next episode of The Friday Charge.